I love portable power, and today we're going to be taking a look at another one in my collection here. This is the Oupes 1800. Let's get right into it. Hey everybody, it's Chris from Family Geekery, and today we're going to be taking a look at this power station here, this Oupes 1800. And yes, that is the way that they pronounce it on their website, so I'm going to trust them that it's Oupes and not Oupes. But this is in their power bank series, their portable power station series, that each one has a different designation depending on the size. This is the 1800 model, which corresponds with the 1800 watts. We'll talk about all the specs in just a second. But they've got smaller ones than this, they've got bigger ones than this. This is kind of right in the middle, on the larger side of the middle, I guess, because it's a real good mix between portable, yes, it's got a handle, so it's portable, and something that can power just about everything in your house. So that's a good combination, something you can take on the road with you, and something that can help you in an emergency also. So when you talk about the specs for these things, there's two main things that you probably care about, and that is how much power can it put out, and how long can it put that power out for. So the two things you want to look at is how much watts you've got on your output. So this one has 1800 watts. It'll surge up above that between these three AC plugs, but just consider that 1800 watt pure sine wave as being the maximum output. And then as far as how long it can stay charged for, is what you're looking at is how many watt hours it is. And this one is 1488 watt hours. Let's just call that 1500. So basically 1500 watt hours, which means basically if you had something plugged in here at 100 watts, it would run that for 15 hours. So that 100 watts times 15 hours is 1500 watt hours. So if you had something plugged in here that was 1500 watts, it's only going to run it for an hour. And if you had something in there that was only 10 watts, well, it's going to run that thing for freaking ever. And the next thing important to mention about the battery capacity of this is not only is it 1488 watt hours of power, but it's also using lithium iron phosphate batteries, which is the newer technology which allows you to charge and recharge these batteries over and over again, and they're going to lose less power in that process. And they rate it at 3,500 life cycles before they lose 20% of their power. So they'll still maintain 80% of their capacity even after you've charged and let this thing drain down and charge and let this thing drain down 3,500 times. So even if you were depleting this thing every single day, you're talking almost 10 years of life on those batteries. So now that we know the important stuff about the power out and how much capacity it has, let's look at all the features as far as what the inputs and outputs are. So we're going to start over here on the left on the AC output. We've got three AC output, basically 120 volt outputs. In between those three, we're going to allow up to 1800 watts out. Like I said, there is some surge to it, up to 4,000 watts of surge, they said, but I always just count for the max, and I try not to surge anything, because that surge, that's a dirty word, right? That means that something is using more than it should, so I just always try to calculate what I'm plugging into this thing by what it should be using all the time. But we know that some things that, like refrigerators and air conditioners, since they kick on and kick off, throughout the day, that they do kind of add more surge, I guess, to the power draw than what they continuously will ask for. So three AC outputs on the left here. Over on the right, we've got all of our DC stuff. Each one has its independent power button to turn those on or off. On the DC side, we got the SIG plug, 12 volts at 10 amps. We also have barrels if you want to connect something that way, so those are also 12 volts at 10 amps. And then we've got a variety of USB chargers. We've got two quick chargers. Those are 18 watt outputs there on the USB-A connectors. And then we've got two USB-C power delivery capables. They're labeled at 60 watts out and 18 watts out. So if you've got lots of devices, phones, tablets, even computers, you'll be able to keep those things charged up and plug in as many things as you want. Now here's a good opportunity to show you that if you've got an AC adapter like this, whether it's small for like a tablet or phone, or even something a little bit beefier than this that has a USB-C output, as long as it's less than 60 watts, don't even plug this in here, just get yourself a USB-C to USB-C cable and plug right into there. So you can plug your tablets, your computers directly in there and it's going to be a little bit more power friendly because you're not going from DC batteries to an inverter to AC, and then from AC through a transformer down to DC. You're just coming straight out of some kind of power converter right at DC. And then as far as power input here, we've got a 400 watt max input, so you can either do that through a combination of solar panels, or you can do it with a DC plug. It comes with a cigarette lighter plug that can plug into your cigarette lighter. That's probably only going to be about 100 watts input. Or it comes with a transformer, big brick, almost like a laptop charger here, that it's 200 watts. And if you use two of those, then you can go in to both ports and you can get up to 400 watts input that way. And you can do the math to figure out how long it takes to charge this thing all the way up. I said it had 1488 watt hours, so let's just round that to 1500. If you're putting 400 watts in there, whether it's a combination of solar and AC or two AC plugs, if you're getting 400 in there, then in 4 hours you'd be able to charge this thing up 1600 watt hours, which would be just a little bit more than the capacity. So from complete dead to fully charged in 4 hours using the 400 watt input. And then of course, if the thing's not all the way depleted, then you can just do the math and figure out about how long it's going to take to charge this thing up. Now, besides what we got on the front here, the only thing of note on the back, there is a big light, and I won't shine it towards you because it is really bright, but if I hit the power button here, you can see it glowing back here, and it's got a couple different settings. That's the first one. It's a little bit brighter on the second one, which is hard to see with the camera, and then the third one is going to be a sequence of strobes that's spelling out SOS in Morse code. So handy to have if you're camping or out on the road, whether you just need to light something up briefly or if you need to signal for help, then you've got that built right in here. So with 1800 watts output, Oupes says that it powers 90% of the electronics in the home, which means just about anything that you have during a power outage, you could plug in here and keep it powered up. This thing can handle coffee machines, stoves, refrigerators, again, depending on how much watts you need. So do a little research onto what you want to plug into it, make sure it fits within the specs, but just about anything you can think of is going to work just fine plugged into this. So like I said up front, this is kind of the perfect combination of both portable solution and home emergency use. So whether you're camping or living the van life or living in an RV, this thing's going to have enough power for you. You can charge it over solar, you can charge it over DC as you're driving from location to location. And then again, in the house, it's going to power up just about anything you need during a power outage. Now, when I say portable, that just means, yes, it has a handle, but it is still 33 pounds. So just be cautious that it is going to require a little bit of strength to lift up off the ground, but 33 pounds isn't horrible, considering that this thing's got 1500 watt hours of capacity in it. So that's going to wrap it up on this little feature review here. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer anything that I can. If you've got one of these and you want to share a story, drop that down there too. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, I appreciate a thumbs up on that video. I'll have links to this product and the rest of their products down in the description below in case you want to go check them out. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. I thank you as always for watching, and until next time, peace out and geek out.